it's expensive to live in America. So should I pull back and then earn $40,000 just so my man can feel like a man? Is he gonna bring in $200,000?
Hey family, welcome to the Do You Know Black Kickback. I'm your host, Lamont Carolina, and this is the official after party to the game show, Do You Know Black? We're gonna hit on a really cool theme related to your episode, but before we do that, we wanna check out what happened in your episode.
Oh, Lord.
So, yeah. So before you start calling for the Lord, let's let our viewers take a look at what happened.
We was in Brooklyn. Oh, do the right thing.
Bow! I got it right. Took all of 90 seconds, yes!
Mama, I love you. P.O.P. hold it down.
I hope you all do not win at all.
Let's see which one of these snitches are gonna win this.
Can I get it? Because I knew. Thank you. Hater.
And then I get this one question.
Yeah, you're already tearing up, girl. You gonna leave with this moment.
I won the rounds.
I don't know where to start. Let's start with.
Start with Car.
We start with Car?
Yeah, we can totally start with me because I was the first person gone, so it's only right.
Okay. So what happened?
Oh man, I think I was the man that knew too much. I think I don't know, man. You ever saw Julius Caesar?
Brutus.
Yeah, man. It's like I was 1, 2, 3, 4 Brutuses down here.
In the back. Did it?
They took the time. It was like,
We kicked him off because he was too arrogant.
What?
And you knew too much.
100% you knew too much.
And you knew too much. Couldn't have that.
Yes.
Explain, please.
Are you kidding me right now? He literally talked about how much he knew.
Yeah. He was testing us in the back.
Wait, like before the
Because you guys
show?
asked me to.
Yes.
You guys set me up.
Yeah, you knew everything. That's why he was testing us. I was like, oh, he know too much.
Oh, you don't know how to lie?
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I thought I was amongst friends. That's why he got kicked off first.
Wow. It's real grimy over there.
I can't.
Rocky, you've been pretty quiet. I'm curious. You won the game, sort of, right?
Sure, yes.
What?
Yeah, I won. I didn't win any prizes, but I won.
What did you win? Like,
The rounds.
you won the memories, right?
The rounds.
Oh, the rounds. Pauline, I thought you would have been voted off first after the end of the first round, which you managed to hold on. What was your strategy to get past the first round?
I just survived. I didn't know nothing. I was just trying to survive and not embarrass myself. I was studying on the way here.
What happened to the voice? Wait.
I was trying to, learn the blackness,
The premise of this show, the Do You Know Black Kickback, is that we take a question from out of the show. We pull it or pull a theme from out of the show, and then we dive into conversation. And that conversation can go left, right, up, down, cha-cha slide, one hop this time. We can do all of that with it, all right? There's no wrong answer, no right answer. We're just having a discussion, all right? But unfortunately, y'all did such a poor job in answering the questions that y'all didn't get to the question that we had prepared here. So I'm gonna read what the question would have been that y'all got. And I'm actually gonna play a little game here before we do it. So I want to see who's gonna be able to answer this question correctly.
Oh, we already know.
All right?
We already know.
So who wants to?
Oh, no. Don't vote for me now.
Who wants to answer the question?
Let him answer it.
No, I don't want to answer no questions.
Just let him answer.
I probably don't even know it.
Car, I think they're pointing to you, Car.
You know.
Here we go. All right? So remember, don't yell it out. Let's see if he can get it, all right? I'm gonna give you.
I don't think we could.
All right, here we go. What was the nickname for black female laborers that supported the war effort during World War II?
Pretending he doesn't know. Look at him.
It's like harbors or something.
Harborers.
No, was it the?
No, that's wrong.
Can I answer?
No,
Can I
that's
try?
Yeah,
I
try.
might be so wrong.
Go.
The suffragettes?
Say it louder.
The suffragettes?
The suffrages. That's
The
incorrect.
suffragettes.
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 Yeah.
But that's not the answer?
No,
How is it not?
it's not.
How is it not the answer?
So that you want to try this one?
Absolutely not.
There you go. All right. Can I give you the answer, or do you think you know it? Rocky?
I thought it was the same as Alex.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the answer is the Black Rosies.
Oh, makes
The Black
sense.
Rosies.
Makes
So
sense.
I think this is a perfect time for a little bit of education, right? Before we celebrate and, pontificate. The Black Rosies, I'm sure you're all familiar with World War II, Rosie the Riveter So you know that poster of a white woman and she has the red bandana and she has, kind of like this. So that was the movement for Rosie the Riveter. And what that essentially explained was back in World War II, the men in the US went off to go overseas to fight, in Europe and in the Pacific. What happened was that there was a gap in capacity for workers in the US. So women stepped up all across the country to fill that void. So you had women performing in jobs they had never before, worked, working with heavy machinery, working to build explosives, planes, tanks, bullets. Black women in particular made up over 500,000 of the workforce during World War II. So those are called the Black Rosies. So you fast forward a little bit and you have a situation where the war is over, men return from fighting from overseas, and then they get their jobs back. There's a space that opened up now for women to start to bring income into the household. So we're gonna talk about some things, okay? So I'll kick off with a conversation starter and then we'll move from there, okay?
Why you
All right. Well, you know what? Okay. Before I ask my question, I feel like there's some thoughts here.
Oh, no. She was staring me down, like I said, like she could read my thoughts. I didn't say nothing yet.
Okay, all right, fair. If you could read his thoughts, what do you think his thoughts are?
You see that disdain look she giving me?
I'm actually not even like focused on him. I'm focused on like the discussion at hand.
Okay, that's fair. That was a
Yeah.
great little pivot. All right, now I'm gonna turn it over to Ball Irene. What were you thinking? Okay, so look, I'll tee it up real quick. This is a nice one. This is an easy one to get the conversation going then, because I guess you don't want to spit what's on your mind right away. So we'll do it this way. Are traditional gender roles beneficial to a healthy and productive Black family?
May I?
Please, it's Kickback.
I do believe that the gender roles are beneficial to a productive Black family. Did you say?
Beneficial to a healthy and productive Black family.
Both of those things, I do. Kevin Samuels, he speaks out against women chasing jobs and careers a lot, to the point that they don't put focus on finding a husband. And he believes that is a lot of why the modern woman is without a husband. Because according to him, I haven't checked the facts myself, I believe he said 1 in 4 or 1 in 5 African-American women are unmarried at, I don't know what the age range is, but I do believe, what he says makes a lot of sense. I do believe it's because they are focusing on, finding, being independent and getting their own jobs, their own money and all this. So it makes it harder to find a guy because he has to either meet the standard that they are making, $70K or whatever. And the average African-American male or average male in America makes $40,500. According to him, I didn't check the facts.
Well,
Yeah, so.
Fontaine, what's up?
So you're spitting a lot of facts, but you're not giving your own personal experience.
They're not
right? So-
facts because we don't know where these sources came from.
And I'm admitting
Agreed,
that.
right?
I'm admitting that. I said these is, according to him, I haven't checked.
Yeah, but Ball Irene, what I'm saying is that I think you're taking the safe road, right? Of just saying, hey, I read this guy and this is what he thinks, versus you saying, hey, this is what I think.
I agree.
Right?
I agree with it.
So I think Fontaine is challenging you, and I think the whole community, right here, fist bump. What do you think? We don't want to hear about somebody.
see.
You read the material. What do you think?
I agree with him.
Okay.
I do believe that women today are, they've been driven to be independent, which I do, that's why I kind of disagree with him, because he's basically, sounds like as if he's telling them, oh, you shouldn't be going for your bachelor's and your PhD and all that. So it just sounds, I don't agree with that. I do believe a woman should be able to, self-sustain. But I agree with him. I do believe there's not enough energy being put into becoming a wife. And that is what I think a lot of men do want. They want those traits in a woman, and that's where gender roles come into place, because I believe men today are still expected to fulfill these, these male gender roles, and women are kind of leaving behind the classic women roles. And they still want those semi-expectations from men, but we're not getting what we expect from women.
Huh.
Go ahead.
Sorry. So in the progressive world that we live in, right? Gender equity is important, right? Especially as we evolve and have children. As you have a daughter, we would always want that our daughter to be able to look at other children and say that I can do as other children can do. Whether that be working on an oil rig or wanting to clean someone's house, right? So with traditional gender roles, I don't think there's a such thing. And I just challenge back, women are becoming vice presidents. Women are doing so many other things that challenge the traditional role. And I guess my question is, what is wrong with that? Because I think that is setting us up, and us meaning the Black community, for greatness. And it's continuing to drive greatness within our community.
Sure. Oh, hold on. I'm gonna get a couple more in here.
Okay. I don't think he's quite saying there's anything wrong with that. I think he's trying to make a point as to that's why a lot of Black women are unmarried, according to whatever source Kevin Samuels had. First of all, I don't agree. I don't believe like a woman is not married because she's overly ambitious. But I don't want to go into that topic yet. I want to go focus back on that question that you were asking about gender roles and if it makes a healthy household. I grew up in a single family household and my mom was an immigrant. She raised 5 kids on her own and we were all happy. She played the father and she played the mom, and I never felt like, I never really noticed the difference. Right? I think if it affected anyone, it probably affected her, you know, because as you get older, you start to appreciate it more. She's managing herself. She's managing the household. She's managing 5 kids. If you gave me $100, I wouldn't even be able to stretch that for a week. I don't know how she stretched that for 5 kids. So like I don't think it affected us as kids. It made us like look up to her, like, you know, appreciate her and us, you know, wanting to be as strong as her, wanting to be just as independent and realizing that like, you know, we can do things on our own too.
I think to the point of like what everybody's saying too, where especially Ball and Rand over here, I think the problem is a lot of us men also don't realize that we put so much stock in just being a man or being the man, you know what I mean? Like talk about our identity is based on just doing that or whatever, right? So we feel inadequate without, and I'm not saying like, oh, I feel inadequate without that, but I think that's where a lot of men are coming from, where they're saying, oh, a woman's not doing this no more, a woman doesn't want a husband no more, blah, 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 blah. If a woman don't want a husband no more, then so be it, like she don't want a husband. But now that takes away, I guess, from a lot of other men's identity. It's like, well, damn, like, what am I gonna do now if I can't, you know, have a woman in the house doing this for me, or I don't, you know what I mean? It's like a lot of men feel like they don't have, without, I don't want to say like, you know, like being like overbearing towards somebody or just having like somebody in their house doing this and that. I feel like there are like other identities to being a man besides just having like, you know, oh, I need a woman to be in this gender role. But also I agree to your point of saying that there's a big difference between women should be restricted to that, or I prefer a woman that's into that. And I feel like that gets really conflated a lot. You know, because a lot of dudes don't realize that, like, you know, not every woman wants to be married. Not every woman wants to be a wife. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna give you a couple stats here. I saw your face. I know you want to get some. I want to get to you though. But Alex, let me just give you a couple stats here, right? So I'm sure we've heard in one time or another that Black women, earn higher degrees at a higher rate, right, than most people in America, right? I think that was as recent as like pre-pandemic, we heard that Black women are the highest earners in terms of degrees, but that's a fact. So I'm gonna give you a couple stats here, right? I'm gonna read them, so just bear with me for a second. This comes from the Journal of Blacks in Higher Education. The fact that black women, they hold a large lead over black men in almost every facet of higher education. Black women currently earn about 2/3 of all black bachelor degree awards, 70% of all master's degrees, and more than 60% of all doctoral degrees.
Thank
what are
you.
your thoughts
That's
on
actually
that?
facts.
Thank you.
With sources.
And the thing with that is,
Well, yeah, but
Thank you.
with that, I want to get to Alex.
So
and
we
stuff
run
like that.
this.
But at what cost?
Exactly.
I mean, okay, so this is what I will say, because I agree with you guys as well, but I definitely think that, like, because I want to use myself as an example, because I just think it's the easier thing to do instead of like talking hypothetical. But for me, like, I'm very independent, like, you know, I like to work, I like to take care of myself and everything, but I do realize that sometimes even me being a go-getter, sometimes I don't have enough energy to cater to my relationship and what it should be at home, if that makes sense.
Talk a little bit more about that.
Like, you know, like,
I get what she's saying.
you know what I mean?
What do you mean
but that shouldn't be just, sorry.
Like, I have a boyfriend, so,
Okay,
and we
that's-
live together.
you
We've
think
been
it
living
takes
together
some-
for
okay.
years, but I'm saying that I can kind of understand that a little bit, just because I am out there working all the time, and like, I'm tired, and then I come home, and then it's like, now I have to cook, or now I have to clean, or maybe I don't want to cook or clean because I just spent like 8 hours outside, or like, you know, maybe I could be more caring and attentive, but I just have been on business calls all day, so I don't feel like it.
But to
right
be
now.
fair, that's also kind of you kind of just putting on it. Like, what about, not to pry or anything like that,
Yeah,
what about
no,
your
no.
boyfriend or a boyfriend? Because isn't it like a two-way street? Like,
No,
my thing is,
100%.
if he's working just as well, and he's not able to pour into a relationship too, isn't that something to address?
I feel like that's the risk that we are taking, because whereas the African American family is kind of dismantled compared to back then, when, you know, it was a lot more of a structure in that nuclear family. But now that there's all this independence and people are chasing their degrees, I think it's coming at a risk. And whether we like it or not, we still play our gender roles, no matter how much, you know, we go out for our degrees and stuff. A gender role, for instance, if someone comes in here attacking, more than likely it's gonna be the men, you know what I mean, trying to defend the women. So we're gonna play that gender role regardless, you know what I mean? So, and, you know, it is, men can take care of the kids and clean too as well, but that is still more of a woman's gender role, you know what I mean? So now that you have women going into the workforce, is a more masculine thing where we're both here, we're both tired, you know, and now the man is still expected to protect and take care of the kids and do this stuff. It just makes a conflicting gender role kind of thing.
So what do you suggest women do? Because it's expensive to live in America. So should I pull back and then earn $40,000 just so my man can feel like a man? Is he gonna bring in $200,000?
Yeah, I don't think that's what he was saying though.
Like when Alex was talking about working and like being a go-getter, he was like,
I think we put too much energy into it, and I think more energy
because
should be
she has
into
goals she needs to reach. She's planting seeds so that in a couple of years she doesn't have to work as hard. But you know, men don't really see the picture.
But you realize like men don't even. Go ahead.
No, absolutely, go ahead.
No, you should.
Oh.
No, I was saying like us men ourselves, we have to relinquish this power that we actually don't even really have, in the sense of like,
who, men?
Men, we we have inherited power because like the patriarch and stuff like that. But in the sense of like, it's not 100% our responsibility to be the, like, here's the thing, in a woman and woman relationship, who's the protector in there?
Women and women and women?
And a woman and woman
That's
relationship.
that was their choice though. They're gonna have to figure that out between the two of them.
Right, but the thing is, it's like, are you gonna look at like a woman and woman be like, man, it's two women. Ain't nobody gonna be able to protect. If something happened, they're not gonna be able to do that. That's what I'm saying. It's like we're putting the responsibility, just like a man has to do that, and we are holding on to traditions that don't even really play to today anymore.
They still play though. If
they
you
play
hear
because
women,
we want them to.
If you're walking down the street and you hear a woman say, "Help me," innately you're gonna go and help.
She wants
If
help.
I say help, someone help.
She's not saying I need a man to help me, not a woman. She's
Fair.
saying help.
Fair.
She's saying help.
All right, I want to throw another question out here, okay? This is one I wanted to make sure I got to. Is there a case to be made that the black family needs the traditional parental arrangement more than white families do? Not just, and I don't mean it just in a gender role, I mean it also just the fact that you have two people raising at least one child.
So
I think Alex was up first, and then we'll get to you.
I mean, Obviously, pros and cons. Like, I do think it's important. I also grew up in a single family home. My mom raised me. I would have appreciated if my dad was there, definitely. I mean, she did an amazing job, but I definitely think having the father role, especially being a woman, could have helped a little bit in certain aspects. But
it's okay
also,
to say that. That's fine.
But also pros and cons, because at the end of the day, I'm glad my mom made that choice, because then it would be just a toxic household. So I don't know. It's hard for me to answer that like straightforward.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I think single family households, right, does not mean that it's just one person, one adult raising families, because we know within the Black culture, it's usually a village, right? So it's a mother or father, it's grandparents, it's aunties and uncles, right? So challenging the statistic on that, I think the bigger statistic is to what my inference is, which is white families get married and Black families possibly don't, right? Or on paper, right? The certificate says, or the license says that you have two parents there. But like I said, I think that one thing Alex said was great. For men, sons, I think it's better to have a male figure in the household or around to help that child grow up. I think it's very, very important, especially if you look like us. I think for women, typically, you have that strong mother figure there, right, that we can emulate. So I think that's the only challenge I would make, that I think in Black cultures and in Black households, you will always have more than one adult in the house, but they might not be the traditional parent, but they are some sort of guardian.
Can I follow up?
Please.
With your statement there? So when you think about your mom in particular, right, within your household, were there gains in terms of financial growth? Has there been generational wealth established?
Yeah. So I will tell you that one, it's passing down of property, which I think is very, very important in the Black community. So my grandmother had a house. That house was passed on to my mother. My mother passed on that house to me.
Stayed in the family.
Right, which is great, especially when you live in New York City.
Ooh,
right?
I thought
cost
you
of
were
living, right? Cost of living is astronomical. I think also it's very important, and it's just a thought, as with people here that live in Harlem and that live in Brooklyn, where at one point in time we owned brownstones, and now we see that the owners of those brownstones don't look like us. And when you think about how much these brownstones cost, it's scary, and that could have been ours, right? So one, I would say the generational wealth that my mother passed down to me on this property, but also it's the education in my brain, right? And I think in a lot of us, as we think about where we could have been,
yep,
is very clear.
That's pretty deep, and congratulations. Is it 3 generations that the property is going down?
Yes. No selling. That's it.
Don't sell.
That's
I love
it.
it. I think that's great. So then, do you think marriage is less or more of a financial institution?
So I will tell you, my girlfriend and I talk about this very often. And we talk about if it's worth it to get married on paper versus just staying together.
Cohabitating, doing the whole thing, just not saying I do with the...
And legally just making sure we're in each other's wills, life insurance and so forth, versus actually having the big to-do.
Why?
I think, so one,
if you don't mind sharing.
Yeah, one, tax reasons, right? I think tax reasons are huge, as to you get taxed higher.
Tax what? I'm sorry?
Higher.
Tax higher if you're married?
Oh, you get
yes,
taxed
if you're married.
higher.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. So I think that's one of the biggest things. I think also if we're together, right? society now says that you have to spend over $50,000 having a wedding, right? That is the traditional way you get married versus just going to the courthouse, signing a piece of paper, right? So I think those are the big financial reasons why we're like, do we want to do it? Our families know that we're together.
Yeah.
What's the purpose of going past that?
Can I ask the same question to you, Rocky?
First of all, I'm not having kids till I'm rich. And I plan on getting rich and getting a financial advisor and figuring it out from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I can't give you all the deets, but you'll see. Just follow me.
Can't get a little bit of. All right. Give us the last 4 to social.
Okay.
Fair. We're looking forward to that. And you're kind of on your way there, right? Because you.
Well, like I'm a huge advocate for gender equality in sports, and I'm also, thank you, just working on pretty much discovering like career opportunities for like the future generation of female fighters. And I started a new like line. It's called Warm Up. And what I've been doing with that line is like sponsoring like underrepresented female athletes.
Okay.
Yeah.
For me, I mean, piggybacking off of both of you guys, for me, my mom definitely handed down work ethic, the ability to just, try everything, because she came from like a household where they kind of told her no when she wanted to be a creative, and that's something I always wanted to do. So I appreciate my mom for that, just letting me be able to try whatever I want, because even now, like at 26, like I can say like I know how to do a bunch of different things because she always let me try everything. For full transparency, my mom is Asian and my dad is Black. My dad is Haitian and my mom is Filipino and Chinese. But yeah, just very strict household, and doctor, nurse, that's just what you are. And then besides that, financial awareness, because I've been acting since I was 5. So like I've been making money since I was 5. And she set me up like a 401k, set me up a savings account, things of that nature. So she helped me like be aware of like how to handle my money. Yeah.
That's pretty dope. That's pretty dope. I mean, I want to kick it to the guys. I want to understand a little about this. And, Alex, thanks for sharing your story as well. Are there any things that you think, or opportunities that you think exist that, if not yourself, can do that we as a culture can do to help progress women along?
I think being a woman, and if you're an African-American woman, it's like a double challenge, because you're a woman and you're a minority in this country, if you're in this country, well, on this planet actually. So I've thought of that. I've thought of the message that I've been hearing lately, and I also considered how I do, if I had a daughter, want to let her know that, you can do or be anything you want to be, but I think that what needs to be done is still, what I would want to do is still drive the force into her as to, if it's something you want as far as marriage, put energy into that too. Obviously, all women don't want children, but if my daughter did want that, I would tell her, while you're focusing on being who you are, put this energy into having a family, because time is ticking. So you have to consider those things and, prepare yourself, know how to be a wife, know how to be a mother. You can't just, hot girl summer for your whole life and then, when I get married, I'm gonna start learning how to become a wife. You have to prepare those things. Same way a man has to, his whole life he's thinking, I have to make enough money to support my family. That's pretty much what men do. They're trying to make enough, they're preparing themselves essentially to be a father and a husband. So that's what I would do.
Thank you for your answer.
I know what I'm doing in the sense of like, listening and I'm supporting them, helping them out. Like when it comes to like I'm a filmmaker and stuff like that too, or whatever. Like I'm a writer and everything like that. I like to like write a lot of roles for women in like, not like saying like, they need to be like the captain or this, but it's like also like, I don't care. Like just write a character, have a woman to lead, this and that. Like, when I have my certain sets, I will take a step back and have a woman direct it, or, I'll have like, with actors or whatever like that, because I understand that I can't speak to certain experiences when I write certain things. You know what I mean? Like I'll let other people read it and everything like that. So for me, it's kind of just like listening and getting out of the way. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. That like, that's the most I feel like that I can do. I think that's the most that anybody can do. I mean, besides supporting women, I feel like that is support.
I think you brought up a really good point though. And I think it kind of touches over here with what Wallerine said. Like, it's okay not to know. Like, I think it's okay. I think we shame folks a lot in society because like they don't know the answer or they don't know how to do something, right?
But even to that point,
specifically about Black men, right?
Yeah.
Like in regard to like, how do we support you, right? Oh, I could be strong. Let me be strong. But I don't need you to be strong right now. I need you to get out of my way. Like,
I think there are levels to it. I think the issue comes when you force it on people that don't want it. I think that's when the issue comes. And like, if somebody wants to be a wife, wants to be in the kitchen, wants to do this and that, then that's what they want to do. If she doesn't want to do that, or if she wants to have a balance with it, then you got to respect that and acknowledge that moving forward. And that should not take away from your identity as a man moving forward. Like that's how I take it or whatever, right? So it's like, for me, it's just a matter of like, what do you want? How can I support you or help you?
Cool.
Because I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get that same support back. It's gonna be reciprocated.
Cool. See? It pouring into.
Why did we vote you off?
I know, I was just thinking that.
Why did we
No, I didn't vote him off. I was like, I'm so glad.
Well.
973, I was on point.
Funny how the tables. I want to thank you all for your contributions. Thank you for kicking it with us after the show. We'll see you next time. Peace.